everybody! Happy Friday! Here's a little gif of what it would look like if I had a TikTok video dance thing. So you're welcome for not having one. Okay, let's get started. Again, here's the plan. We've gone over this. So again, our learning goal right now is all about, can you explain the mechanism behind coronavirus? How does it cause a disease, and how do we pass it, or how do we transmit it between people? So you have done so far these three things. You've gotten a really good introduction to coronavirus during the video that we watched on Tuesday, and you guys came up with amazing questions. Today, we are going to answer the questions. So you guys came up with a bunch of questions, and in fact, you can pick the ones that you get to answer. So I'm going to show you how this whole thing will work, all right? Just a reminder here, this is the assessment for this learning goal. This is kind of the final one. We will get a chance, and as we keep learning more about like our bodies and our immune system, if you want to revise this, you can, but I just want you to know that this is kind of, it's not something to stress about, but it is important, okay? So give it some serious brain power, okay? All right, that's the master plan. Okay, so we made a new document called the COVID-19 Question Library. I decorated it with these beautiful COVID or virus images. And it is made of all of the questions that you asked. So huge shout out to Mr. Turvin, who went through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I'm telling you, like probably 1,000 questions. And picked out the kind of, not the best ones, but the ones that were most unique or would give the most information. So it looks like this. It's just a big, beautiful document. You can see there is lots of questions here, okay? Amazing job, guys. You came up with some incredible questions. Things like, how did the coronavirus start? Where did it come from? Can it survive on hot surfaces? Like, these are all awesome. And we're going to get a lot of answers to them today. So let's do it. Here's where we're going to get some of our answers. We're going to get them from this podcast. This is like a different way to get information. It might be different than things we've done in the past. I know we've read articles, we've looked at infographics, we've watched videos. Today we're going to focus on listening, and this podcast is amazing. These two women are they work really hard, and they come up with awesome questions, and they research them very thoroughly and have just worked really hard to put together some really important information. So they're both epidemiologists / virologists at Harvard University. You might have heard of it. It's kind of important. So they're just a couple of smarty pants telling us some really awesome stuff in this podcast, okay? So while you are listening, I know listening isn't something that we practice a ton in school. So if you are like a pro listener, here's your time to shine. And if not, then that's okay. Here are some strategies, all right? First of all, if you are confused about something that they said, like stop, rewind, and just listen again. That's fine. That's totally normal. I tend to like zone out when I'm listening to my podcast. So oftentimes I have to be like, whoa, wait, what? And like go back. And that's fine. People do that all the time. The other thing I do when I listen to podcasts, I just don't know every word in the English language, or definitely not in the Spanish language or lots of other languages. So when I listen to a podcast, I write down words that I don't know, and then I Google them. And you can do that too. That's a really useful strategy. So if you hear a word, you're like, what? I don't know what that means. Just Google it. Just write it down, Google it, okay? And then this is a strategy that I find really, really helpful. If something is long, I just like, I don't know, I start like folding laundry or like cooking or making my bed or like, I don't know, playing with my cat. And then I'm not paying attention because I'm like zoned out. So another option is to like listen to a short section and then jot down what you learned. Just like not even a sentence. Like, okay, I'm going to listen for 5 minutes. I'm going to be like, oh, they were talking about like where the virus came from. simple, just to kind of keep you on track, okay? And then the last thing, and honestly, I think that the best tool here is to read along with the transcript. Like, huge plug here for reading along with the transcript, okay? So I just want to show you the transcript. It's right here. Here. It's right here. Yes, here it is. Okay. So you can read along with it. And you'll see that there are these notes on the side. I wrote these. These are like, this section is about this. Like, so it'll tell you this section explains some review information about viruses. So if you pick a question and you like need some information, you want to read through the transcript or look for the note on the side. Maybe your question was, where did the virus come from? This section is going to answer that question. Okay, so the transcript is really helpful. I highly recommend just keeping the transcript open in front of you while you listen to the podcast, okay? There is like disclaimer, just like trying to be responsible. There is like a whole section where they talk about their quarantinis, which are like alcoholic drinks. But they, so obviously like don't have an alcoholic drink. Your teacher is not telling you to have an alcoholic drink. It's illegal. You are not 21. That would be bad practice on all of our parts. But if you want to make this one is non-alcoholic. It looks delicious. Could be good. Maybe you have that stuff in your pantry. I don't know. Up to you. All right. So those are your strategies for listening. Make sure you are using the transcript. I think it's really helpful. When you are answering your questions, so you've listened to the podcast and now you're going to go answer your questions, you have so many resources. So you can use the video we watched on Tuesday. It was the one that looked like this. It was all animated. You can use this video that I made like in March with like vocabulary. You can use that. And then you can use the podcast. So you have at least 3 resources. I know you guys studied like reliable resources with Mr. Gilbert and Mr. Prucci. So if you have other ones in there that you want to use, that's fine. Just make sure you like let us know that you're going to use an outside resource. Does that make sense? So what should you do first? Open up this document. It's going to make a lot of sense. Also, if you are not sure like where to start, if you're like just totally confused, there's this document that just tells you like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. So you can follow those steps if you like. Just a bunch of different resources. And then finally, like, come hang out with us at live lessons. Maybe you have your answers, but you want to just check them. That's fine. Come to live lessons. Like, it's fun. We hang out. It's cool. Come, okay? We like it. We like seeing you. All right, y'all. Good talk. I hope you guys have a great day. Let me know if anything comes up with the podcast or there's any issues. Just send me a carrier pigeon or a text message or something. Okay? Love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.